Good day, everyone. So, my name is JD, and I'm your instructor for Science, Technology, and Society. So, we're now at the fourth chapter, and that is the good life. So, what do we mean when we talk about the good life? So, in this part, we'll be talking a lot of discussions regarding on philosophical approaches on the human condition, okay, using science, technology, and society. Well, our current situation right now is actually driven by the scientific and technological advancements. But has it really brought happiness in our lives, or has it really brought contentment in our lives? Diba yun yung purpose kasi ng science and technology is to improve the human condition. But has it really improved the human condition, and has it really advanced the human condition? Or is it the other way around? Is it a factor of destroying the human condition? So, philosophy also teaches us that to be creative, to be flexible, and holistic in our visions and thinking. To live as a philosopher means to never stop questioning technology and to never stop thriving for truth, to continue walking, to live better, to know more, and to revise your position based on new evidences. That is the good life. Or is it? Diba? But this chapter will also help us reflect on what it really means to have a good life and humanity in us, especially in this challenging time and this trying times. We need to be humans, okay? So at the end of this course, of this chapter, the learning objectives are first, determine the role of technology in the flourishing human society, identify the essence of technology, recognize that in every invention or discovery, one must question its essence, its goodness, and its impact in the world, analyze the effects of science and technology in the way of life, every living being, human, animals, plants, and others. Acknowledge the biocapacity of nature and its capacities to supply is diminishing with the increasing demands of human society. Illustrate an invention that describes how will it make the human condition better and reflect on what it really means to have a good life. So this is a very light chapter, but a very challenging and reflective chapter compared to the first three chapters that are historically based and scientifically based, but this one is philosophically based. Now, why do we study philosophy in science, technology, and society? Because in science, technology, and society, it's driven by philosophies, no, by standpoints of different scientists and different people behind this. So let's start off with lesson 16. The lesson 16 is flourishing in science and technology. Flourishing in science and technology. What does this mean? Don't conceal. Let them know. Let it go. So it's like a song, no, na let it go. Don't conceal it. Why? Example, let me ask a question. What is technology? Usually, pag tinanong natin ang tanong na what is technology, ang isasagot natin ay refrigerator, television, no? O kaya naman cellphone or flash drive or PS4, PS5, iPhone, camera. These are technology. These are our confined thoughts of technology. Yung isasagot natin, tama? What is technology? But what we say is not actually the essence of technology. Because technology is not only tools. Kasi yung mga sinabi natin, these are machines. Like cellphone, washing machine, refrigerator. Refrigerator is my favorite. And washing machine are my favorite machines or tools. No? But let's not confine the term technology as to that only, as to tools. Because technology is, no, is more than the tools we use in our everyday life. This alone cannot provide sufficient answer to what really is technology. This answer is somehow true. Somehow true siya. But it's not the entirety of technology. Ito sinasabi lang niya na instrumental kasi nagagamit natin ang technology. But then again, technology is not only a tool. It's not only instrumental. It's also anthropological because of how human use technology across history. Hence, it is safe to say that technology is means to an end and that is instrumental and human activity and anthropological. Say, for example, a pointer, a laser pointer. A laser pointer na ginagamit ngayon ng mga presenters kapag nagpre-present sila. Where did it come from? It actually starts with a stick, 'di ba? The stick was the technology of previous teachers using laser pointers ngayon. Say for example, cellphone. Cellphone, ang mode ng cellphone ngayon is for communication, right? But it's not the sole purpose of cell phones now. Pero ang initial purpose ng cellphone ay communication. So if you're going to go back, what is the initial communication technology yung ginagamit for communication? So madaming isasagot dyan, like the Kipu of the Inca civilization, or the Morse codes, or even yung ginagawa ng mga hunters during the Stone Age wherein nagpapausok sila and certain smoke actually indicates a certain communication. Something like that. So doon nag-umpisa yung cellphone, yung long distance communication, right? And we cannot confine technology as tools only. Yun lang yung gusto nating isettle. And we want to establish that on the first parts of our lecture. So, in order for us to fully comprehend technology, one must recognize that technology is not only instrumental, as I have said. It's not only machine that we use every day. One must have a free relationship with technology and recognize the essence of the developed technology. But technology cannot also be equated to that of its essence. So kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, technology has its own essence, has its own purpose. Like cellphone, its purpose is for communication. But kapag wala bang cellphone, wala na ba yung essence ng communication, ng long distance communication? Meron pa rin, 'di ba? There are different tools we use for long distance communication. Okay? So, let me invite you to a very, very known philosopher. He's Martin Heidegger. So, Martin Heidegger is a German philosopher and he also initiated the questioning on technology. So, he wants us to understand technology beyond its physical contribution to human life, but viewed it using meditative thinking, ibig sabihin, metacognitive thinking in a different manner of considering technology. So, kinuha niya yung concept ni Aristotle or he adapted the concept of Aristotle on causality for where there is effect, there is cause. And he explained the four causes. He used the silver chalice. Silver chalice is a drinking cup, okay? A cup in the in ancient times, maybe. Pero meron pa rin naman ngayon. Silver chalice to explain the principles of causality. There are four causas. The first causa is the causa materialis. What is it made of? It answers the question, what is it made of? What is it made of? What matter is it made of? Number two is causa formalis. What form or what shape does it follow? It's called logos or form. Causa efficiens. Causa efficiens is what is made. How is it made? And lastly, the causa finalis, the final effect or why is it made. So these four causas, no, results to technology. Ito yung kayang i-lead tayo sa sagot ng what is technology if it answers all these four. Say for example, so for centuries, they've been using this causas, no? Pero na-reintroduce lang siya ngayon ulit. So first one is the causa materialis sa chalice, sa silver chalice. Causa materialis. So causa materialis, the material, the matter out of which. So for example, the silver chalice is made up of silver. Okay, it's made up of silver. Number two, causa formalis. What shape does it follow? It follows the shape of chalice, of course. So my shape. So it's made up of something. It follows a shape. And then the third one is causa finalis, the end. So example, saan siya ginagamit, no? Sacrificial rites, ginagamit yun sa simbahan. Yung, okay? And relationship to chalice required is determined as to form and matter. And then lastly, the causa efficiens. The cost efficiency is which brings about the effect that is finished, that effect that is the finished actual chalice. In this instance, the silversmith. So what technology is, when represented as a means, discloses itself with trace instrumentality back to fourfold causality. So ang ibig sabihin nito, that chalice is actually a technology because it has its essence, it has its purpose, it reveals its purpose. So those are the four uh, things, no, to consider if a material is a technology. Kasi we have to separate it from art. Okay, art is also made up of something. Art also follows something, right? Like sculpture. So ang art meron siya, it's made up of something. So let's just say sculpture. Ang art, it's made up of something. It's made up of calcium carbonates, let's say, sculpture. And then it follows a shape. Now, saan magkakatalo? Magkakatalo ito sa may causa finalis din siya, the final output. Pero magkakatalo ang art at technology sa efficiency. The efficiency is its purpose. Does it serve any purpose? Right? For sculptures, it's there. Yes, it's it's a symbolism, let's say, ganon. No, but it doesn't really have a function for you to improve your human condition. Kasi 'di ba 'yun yung purpose ng technology, to improve the human condition, right? So again, ang ang technology, merong causa materialis, causa formalis, causa finalis, at causa efficiens. Ang art, wala siyang causa efficiens. But then again, don't get me wrong, an art can also be a technology, like robots. It's an art, it's a craft, but it can be considered as a technology because it has a purpose, right? So we must also consider the terms unconcealment. That's why I said, I mentioned a while ago, let it go. Don't conceal it. Let it go. Let them know. Because this means bringing forth from nothing. The concept of unconcealment is the reason why science and technology came to in order to search for althea. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng althea? Althea is a Greek word for truth. So in short, unconcealment is the revealing of the truth. It's search for althea. That's the primary reason why there are alchemists, why there are natural philosophers, scientists, because they want to seek the truth, althea. One must also consider the understanding of art. One must be poetic in order to deeply understand the concealment and unconceal the essence of technology. According to Heidegger, that way of bringing forth is being poetic or poesis. Being sensitive is being poetic to understand what is technology. So in order to answer the question what is technology, it doesn't actually require you entirely to be techne, no, to be technical. But somehow it also asks you to be poetic. Ano ibig sabihin ng poetic? To be sensitive. 'Di ba? 'Di ba nga, as you draw near to techne, you must still remain poetic. Not only lesson spotlight, not only handicraft manufacture, not only artistic and poetical bringing into appearance and concrete imagery is the bringing forth. Poesis. Excuse me. Okay. So techne, as I have repeated in several of our lectures before, techne is a root word for technology. Since we've been talking about science, technology, and society. In historical times, it is associated to arts. Kaya kanina, 'di ba, we created a fine line between arts and technology. Yes, it is associated to arts. It's still associated to arts until now because it's craftsmanship. But you have to separate art and technology. A technology can be uh, an art can be a technology. Okay, or say a technology can be classified as an art also, but an art cannot be classified as a technology per se. Okay, so these also meant that practical knowledge can be learned by doing and relate to practical world. In order to understand technology, one must have understanding of the arts of the mind and the fine arts. Okay. So actually, bago ka maging, let's say, before you become a good engineer or technician, you really have to dig in with what is in your mind, what you want to create, diba? Because that's what engineers are and scientists are. Okay, but let's go to technology. No, so in creating a technology, engineers really have to be creative in their thoughts, creative sa kanilang imahinasyon. No? It requires everyone to be creative in their imaginations, but the difficult part is putting it into reality. Techne belongs to bringing forth to poesis. It is something poetic. Poesis can unconceal the essence of techne. Being poesis can reveal its althea. So being poetic can reveal the truth of a technology. Kasi kung iti-treat mo lang ang technology na tool, if you're going to treat technology just as a tool, just as your equipment in your everyday life, and not be sympathetic and be thankful by what the technology helps you to do in your everyday life, hindi ka nagiging poetic. Again, being poetic is being sensitive with these technologies. These technologies can help you. This being poetic can actually help you reveal the truth behind that technology. That the real purpose of this phone is for communication. The innovative apps na nandito is for your betterment. Okay? At hindi ka dapat makontrol ng technology because if you are aware of technology, no, if you really are poetic with the technology and you know the reality or the truth behind your technology, hindi ka magpapakontrol sa technology, right? So, hence it can be said that revealing of the essence of technology can be through being poetic to techne. So you should be poetic. You should be sensitive with the things that you use also. Don't treat them as don't treat technology just as a tool. Treat them as a means to an end. Okay? They help you in dealing with things, right? But then again, no, yun yung mga old technology, say sabi, yung mga previous technology like chalice, yun nga, yung baso, yan. No, it helps us para mas madali tayong makainom, tumblers. So. But what about those modern technologies that we have? So, if I ask you, what is modern technology? Kanina, 'di ba? Pero ngayon, ang isasagot natin sa what is modern technology would be advancements, no? Like cars, like the cars of Tesla, the SpaceX, no? Um, high speed computers, PCs. These are modern technologies we can say. But in modern technology is also a way to revealing. Only when we allow our attention to rest on its fundamental characteristic does that which is new in modern technology show itself to us. The modern technological advancements are more different than that in the previous understanding of technology using the causality by Aristotle. So what does that mean? The four causa or causalities provided by Aristotle na inadapt ni Heidegger is applicable for technologies during that time. But what about and even some technologies that we have today that was developed during that time, like a cup, kagaya ng baso, mug, no? But the modern technology changed. Hindi mo na pwedeng i-classify lang using that. So, we have to unconceal the technology that we have today. How are we going to unconceal it? Kasi 'di ba, ang way of unconcealment natin sa technology before, identify mo lang kung cosa materialis, may what is it made of? Cosa formalis, what is its form or what is its shape. Causa finalis, ano yung final output, causa efficiens, ano yung function, ano yung essence ng technology na yun. Yun lang yung ano natin, yun yung i-consider natin during that time. Pero ang modern technology may dadagdag na kailangan mong i-consider, and we'll talk about that in short. So we must not be worried about the technology, for technology is with us and we take the path to future, but we must be vigilant and not be scared of the technology we created in this world. Again, the reason why science and technology is created or is formed by the human mind, by the society, is to improve the human condition para mas mapaganda ang pamumuhay ng bawat tao. So dapat hindi natin ito dapat katakutan. Ang ikatakot natin kapag tayo ay kinokontrol na ng teknolohiya. Okay? So, let us not be afraid as we face this future with technology, because technology has been with us ever since. Okay? But modern technology is more dangerous than other technologies that we have before. It draws further away from being poesis and closer to techne. Before, say that chalice, may mga art na nandoon. Let's say maliliit na sculpture doon sa mug na yon. So you are affected by the arts in that. So you are more poetic to that. Pero ang technology ngayon, the modern technology, okay, draws us further away from being poesis. 'Di ba? 'Di ba nga ang revealing ng Althea, ang revealing ng truth ng technology during the time of Aristotle is being poetic, is having poesis. Pero sa modern technology ngayon, it draws us away from poesis. So if it draws us away from poesis and closer to techne, what does that mean? The truth or Althea is being concealed. Nako-conceal na naman ng Althea. Nako-conceal na naman ng truth. So the unconcealment or the revealing of the truth of modern technology is challenging forth and bringing forth. Take note of those two. Challenging forth, this puts nature to unreasonable demand to supply energy and support. And then the other one is the bringing forth, is the unconcealment of technology, while challenging forth is a different view of seeing nature. We use and manipulate resources that nature gives to us to manufacture, to create, or to reveal technology that is man-made. Okay, let's wrap it up. Sa modern technology, pwede natin pa rin i-consider yung four causas. Causa materialis, causa formalis, causa finalis, and causa efficiens. Pero sa modern technology, idadagdag natin yung dalawang classification ng technology. Is it challenging forth or bringing forth? If it's bringing forth, it's a modern technology that already reveals the unconcealment of technology. While the challenging forth challenges or destroys, demands further from nature in spite of limited resources. Biocapacity. Say for example, limited ang capacity ng planeta natin, tama? We have a very limited resources. And then humans, the human population is increasing. Naging exponential nga yung increase nito when it reached 20th and 21st century. Umangat ang number of ang population ng humanity. And because of this, no, the demand from nature in spite of its limited capacity increases. And challenging forth is a type of technology or is a technology that no demands further. Okay? Halimbawa, this is a question. Windmill is a modern technology. It is a technological device. Is it challenging forth? The answer there is no, because the wind stays as is, unharmed. It does not unlock energy from air currents in order to store it. The windmill is a technology that satisfies human without harming nature. More of this technology. So human challenges forth when he harms nature to satisfy his needs. Okay, I hope this example already settles the fine line between challenging forth and bringing forth. Kapag challenging forth, na-harm ang nature. Kapag bringing forth, hindi na-harm ang nature. So if I ask you, first question, is windmill a modern technology? Yes, because it converts mechanical energy to electrical energy, right? So it harvests energy from the wind, from the motion na binibigay ng wind, no? So it harvests that. But second question, is it a challenging forth or bringing forth? The answer there is it's bringing forth. Okay? Because nature is unharmed. Wala namang nangyari dun sa hangin nung pagkatapos gamitin sa windmill, right? So human challenges forth when he exhausts natural resources we have without considering nature. So if humans, say for example, mining is a new process of harvesting these minerals to convert into something. So we are exhausting the natural resources or natural resources, and we are hurting nature. So what kind of technology is that? It's challenging forth. Every time human challenges nature and natural resources, we want a maximum yield with minimum expense. Ano ibig sabihin nito? We want a higher yield. We want a higher output kahit minimum lang yung input natin. But then again, in the concept of physics also, no, actually, no matter how much energy you put into a system, lagi at lagi kang merong energy loss at lesser ang output mo kaysa sa input mo. Mas mababa ang yield mo. But then again, as human beings, we never seek to contentment. Okay. But I hope this changes us. This happens when we harness and get energy from nature, and when not in use, we store it. We harvest a lot of energy. Like there's a country, ay hindi ko nasasabihin ko ano bansa ito. Ang baba-baba ng bill nila sa kuryente. Ang laki ng bill namin ngayon sa kuryente. Ang baba-baba ng bill nila, it's because they harvest a lot of energy. Their country harvests a lot of energy until such na yung energy na harvest nila ay ni-store nila. Kaso, sa principle of energy ngayon, sa researches ngayon, ang energy harvest ay madali. Mas madali iyon kumpara sa energy storage. Storing energy is very sensitive and very dangerous. So yun yung isa sa mga research interest that uh, ini-encourage na i-pursue ng mga engineers and scientists ng hindi lang sa Pilipinas, pati sa buong mundo. Okay? So lesson spotlight. Such challenging happens in the energy concealed. In nature is unlocked. What is unlocked is transformed. What is transformed is stored. What is stored up is in turn distributed. What is distributed is switched about ever anew. Okay? Yeah. That's not bad. Heidegger also uses the word bestand. Okay? So this chapter is very challenging kasi madaming terms. No? Take note lang again, quick recap lang. The four causas, causa materialis, causa formalis, causa finalis, causa efficiens. Okay? Four causas to identify which is technology. And then the next one is modern technology. After considering that four, and then identifying which is modern technology or what type of modern technology, the two classifications are bringing forth, is the technology bringing forth or challenging forth. Ngayon, may another term na dinagdag si Martin Heidegger. This word, he uses the word bestand. Bestand, ang ibig sabihin nito ay standing reserve. It's a perception on how human sees nature or how human perceives nature. Human sees nature as it is. Human sees it as a source to fulfill our needs. So may dalawang point of view. How do you view things in nature? Okay, let me give you an example. First question, how do you see Angat Dam? Okay, so there are two possible way na pwede nating isagot. Una, do you see it as a body of water or as a river? Uh, Other would say, or you see it as a source of harnessing energy for man. Do you just see it as somehow it will benefit you? Now, if you see it this way, ibig sabihin, you see it as a river. You see Angat Dam as it is, okay? As a body of water. But if you see it this way, you just see it as a source of energy, okay? So Heidegger also mentioned the word gestel. Gestel means enframing. Ibig sabihin ng enframing is gathering together the setting upon which set upon man challenges forth to reveal in the modern or ordering a standing reserve. So when we enframe, we unconceal the standing reserve. So what happens is that, example, yun yung enframing. Yung pag, not example ha, yung Angat Dam. Yung Angat Dam, ang tawag mo doon ay besta. If you see it as a source of energy, ang tawag mo doon standing reserve. Okay? And you also enframe it, ini-enframe mo yun, gestel, no, you enframe the Angat Dam as sole source of solely as a source of energy and not considering it as anything else. I have further examples later. When we enframe, we always see nature should fit with us instead of we should be fit with nature. So we're asking nature to be fit with us. Okay? So Angat Dam, source lang namin yan ng energy. So you don't see it as a body of water. Ganon yung enframing. Gestel. Okay? Instead of allowing the nature as a gift or to give, and to reveal on its own ways, like the bringing forth, humans enframe it and take its resources for granted and appropriate them as a standing reserve. So if you enframe, you are making a standing reserve. Okay? So when you gestel, you bestand. And framing is confining nature to a perception that you see it as what you want it to be. So, uh, and framing is confining nature to a perception that you see it as what you want it to be. So you don't actually see them as it is. Hindi mo lang tinitingnan yung nature ng as is. Iba yung tingin mo sa kanya. Halimbawa, instead na itong baka na to, nakita mo habang nagta-travel ka, nakita mo yung baka. If you do not enframe, ang tingin mo sa kanya baka. Pero if you are enframing, and then you see the baka, nakikita niyo yung baka as a standing reserve, ang tingin mo sa kanya hindi baka, ang tingin mo sa baka na yan ay burger. Okay? So you see it not as a cow. Instead of seeing it as a cow, you see it as a burger. Kasi you enframe it. Pineframe mo na ang purpose ng baka na yan ay maging burger. Okay? And that's not what we want. Another example, you see trees. So, umakyat ka, nag-hike ka, nakita mo ang tataas ng mga puno. Instead of you appreciating nature, na ang tataas ng mga puno, grabe, grabe. No? Ang tingin mo, magandang puno to, panggawa ng bahay. Okay? Panggawa ng wooden furnitures. Because you enframe the purpose of cow and the trees. Na yun yung purpose nila. Instead, dapat titingnan natin sila as a cow and as a nature, as a tree. So you see, mahalaga ang role ng understanding natin philosophically sa technology. Kasi hindi being techne is not only being technical. If you're a good techne, kaya ito nasa good life. Because again, the purpose of technology is to improve the human condition, but without neglecting other beings. And framing became the essence of modern technology, framing nature as a source for human needs. So ito yung pinaka naging malaking problem sa modern technology. Pag may nakita yung businessman na lugar kung saan madaming gold, minahin niya yan, minahin niya yan. Pag nakita niya na magandang source ng paggawa ng dam, pagawa niya ng dam, papagawa niya ng dam. Ganun yung tingin ng modern technology. You enframe nature. But we should see nature as our home. Because of modern technology, we see universe as an alternative home. Ano ibig sabihin nito? So ang tingin natin sa space, pwede nating tirahan kapag nasira yung planeta natin. Because of the enframing brought by technology according to Heidegger. Instead, instead of taking good care of our planet Earth, we continually destroy it with modern technology, and we continually do this because we see the universe as a standing reserve. Ang tingin natin sa universe, sa nature, is a standing reserve. That if our planet is destroyed, we have the entire universe or cosmos to live in. Because we take nature for granted. And I hope, no, hindi tayo ganon. We don't take nature for granted. Right? So we should not be thinking this way. We cannot blame the modern technology because the human dictates its essence. The causa efficiency of technology is mainly driven by humans. Tayo ang magdidictate, tayo ang magsasabi kung ano nga ba ang magiging role ng technology na to. Will it serve will it serve for the destruction of nature? So I always tell my students in STS that if you see this, if example future engineers or scientists, if you see this form of technology will destroy the environment, will you still do it? Reflect if that technology will ill frame. Reflect if that technology will bring forth or challenge forth. Laging ganon. Kasi yun yung nakakaligtaan ng mga developers ng technology ngayon. They are forgetting the essence, the real essence of technology. Okay? So lesson spotlight. We are questioning concerning technology in order to bring to light our relationship to its essence. For questioning is the piety of thought. We question technology. So example, if you see a technology, are you bringing forth? If you see a material, you assess if it cosa materialis, what is it made of? Cosa formalis, what's its form? Cosa finalis, it looks good. Cosa efficiency is very important. What is your essence as a technology? And if you have an essence and you are technology and you are a modern technology, are you bringing forth or challenging forth? Bringing forth is good. Challenging forth is destroying nature. Will this technology destroy nature? Will this technology harm nature? You question that. Kasi ayaw natin. Say for example, you are inventing, you are creating something. Nag-iimbento ka. Is that bringing forth or challenging forth? There are a lot of scientists and engineers who have regretted inventing a lot of war machines today. Right? So technology is a two-edged sword. Alam natin yon. Its essence is to help humankind in its way of living, to improve the human condition. Paulit-ulit ko sinasabi. The essence of technology is to improve the human condition. But today, we also see the danger that technology brings today. That technology can work with us or against us. Because again, technology is a two-edged sword. If we continue seeing nature as a source to fulfill our needs and not to see it as it is, we use modern technology to enframe nature. Not only we are harming nature, but we are also harming ourselves and the future generation. So in the technology that we have, no, tingnan natin kung nakakatulong ba talaga yun sa inyo, nakakatulong ba talaga yun sa pamilya ninyo at sa susunod na henerasyon. Because the last thing we want is to harm ourselves, who harm nature, to harm the future generation. because that is the purpose of technology. So let's spotlight. As poets or artists, we need to see the world as it is. Because art in poetry reveals Althea, and Althea is truth, and technology reveals Althea. In unconcealment of technology, we can also help us view the technology in its essence. So you have to be artistic, you have to be poetic, you have to acknowledge and be sensitive with the role of technology. We can attain a free relationship with technology if we reveal its essence by continually asking questions on technology and how we can use technology without damaging or hurting the world around us. This can encompass both techne and being poesis. Being a scientist and engineer does not only require intellect, but one must be poetic and artistic in order to reveal the truth on technology, its essence, and why is it made. Okay? So as people working in the industry, people that are engineers and scientists, do not only require intelligence or excellence when it comes to doing those stuffs, but they also require to reveal the truth behind that technology. I always tell this to my students, no, my engineering students, that as we approach episteme, being scientific, as we approach being techne, being technologically advanced, we must be poesis. We must be poetic because art, can help us understand the essence of science. This is from one of my favorite movies, The Dead Poets Society, 1989. Professor John Keating said in this movie, "We read and write poetry because we are members of the race. The human race is filled with passion, and medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life, But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for." So, aanhin mo yung advancements if you we do not have drive to live, right? So, that's the first part, the human flourishing. Basically, in this lesson, I just want you to realize that technology is not bad. The technology is a two-edged sword na bahala tayong mga tao kung paano natin i-utilize or paano natin gagamitin ang technology, no, para makatulong sa atin, sa future generation, okay, and sa nature. Because again, technology, the purpose of technology, science and technology, is for the advancements or for the improvement of the human condition without disregarding other species. So that would be all for tonight. For today. Gabi na kasi. That would be all for today for this lesson. So should you have any questions, feel free to comment at the comment section and feel free to email me at jonathandavid_delacruz@up.edu.ph. So bye. Thank you.